Right now at 6, national attention is shifting to Wisconsin ahead of the 2020 election. What President Trump had to say to Wisconsin supporters overnight.
And we have a wrap-up of all of the important moments from last night's debate, along with what's next for the Democratic candidates.
Plus, we're taking a look at how a good season for the Packers means better business for local bars. That's straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and happy Wednesday. It is January 15th. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Josh Freider. Meteorologist Had McClain is here now on the first alert on what could be a really dicey morning today.
Yeah, that's true, and it's going to get worse as time goes on over the next couple of hours. Right now, if you're just waking up or planning on leaving the house early, you'll likely miss most of the precipitation. Alert day forecast in effect today. Winter weather advisory in effect now until noon for most of southern Wisconsin. We're talking a mixture of light snow and freezing rain or freezing drizzle moving into the area. A light glaze of ice is possible, creating some slippery spots on any untreated surfaces. Now at this time, most of that precipitation still south of the state line. You may be seeing a few flurries or a little bit of drizzle in far southern Wisconsin. Temperatures are below freezing though, so slippery spots are possible. We're down to 20 here in Madison, 18 in the Dells, 24 in Platteville, and 25 in Janesville. Our temperatures over the next 12 hours will climb to highs in the low 30s, just slightly above the freezing point this afternoon. Precipitation should be winding down through the afternoon as well. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning. No major issues here in and around Madison. Keeping our eye on southwestern Wisconsin, though, nothing to report right now. That's where roads could turn slippery earliest this morning. Expect that precipitation to arrive here in Madison between 8 and 9 o'clock. Again, travel around the area may be a little slippery early today. Should be improving tonight, and then a quiet day expected, at least for one day tomorrow.
And then this weekend, you're tracking even more coming.
Yeah, it's very busy in the weather department through at least midday Saturday.
Ooh.
All right. Stay tuned to that forecast, folks. Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
We are continuing to follow breaking news overnight into the Alert Center. Police in Fitchburg are investigating multiple reports of shots fired. It happened just before 8:30 last night near Greenway Cross. That's where the Popeyes is in that town. A canine was brought to the scene, but no suspects were found. No injuries have been reported yet. But if you have any information, if you might have seen something, you're asked to call the Fitchburg Police Department.
6:02 right now. All eyes are on our battleground state of Wisconsin ahead of the 2020 presidential election.
President Trump is back in D.C. this morning after a rally in Milwaukee late last night.
For years, you watched as your politicians apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America, and we are standing up for you, the people of Wisconsin.
This scene.
In his speech, the president focused on the killing of Iranian leader Qasem Soleimani and the Democratic response to it. He also touted his record in office, including appointing more federal judges and a low unemployment rate.
Protesters are also making their voices heard, gathering outside of the arena during the rally, hoping to bring their message to the president and his supporters. The group included members of nearly a dozen organizations, including Voces de la Frontera, Coalition to March on D.C., and even groups from the Chicago area.
I think it's important for us to make a stand that says we're not angry, but we're concerned with what's going on in our government. And having the president here is a perfect venue to do it.
Protesters say showing up in Milwaukee was important because of Wisconsin's battleground status.
Around the state, President Trump's surprise victory in Racine County back in 2016 is part of the reason he won Wisconsin. President Obama had won the county both in 2008 and in 2012. Racine flipped red because of low voter turnout, especially among black voters. Now, some feel the decision to remove more than 200,000 people from voter registration lists around the state could make turnout even lower. Those people didn't respond to a mailing asking if they had moved since the last election.
Democrats are celebrating a win this morning in that voter registration case. An appeals court moved to put the order to remove those 200,000 voters on hold again. This means the voters will be able to remain on the rolls until the Court of Appeals can formally hear the case. The court also put a hold on a ruling from earlier this week that held the Election Commission in contempt for not removing the voter registrations. The Elections Commission is hiring an advertising firm for a campaign aimed at reassuring voters that the state's elections are secure. $260,000 will be spent to hire Madison-based KW2 to develop that campaign.
The president's Wisconsin rally comes as his impeachment trial is about to move to the Senate. After nearly a month-long wait, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will send the articles of impeachment to the Senate today. The House still needs to vote on impeachment managers who will make the Democrats' case. While names haven't been released yet, several members expect the chairs of the House Intelligence and Judiciary Committees, Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler, to lead that team.
Those articles are being sent with new evidence from 4 House committees. That evidence includes letters, texts, and handwritten notes provided by indicted Rudy Giuliani associate Lev Parnas. It adds new details about how Giuliani allegedly tried to set up a meeting with Ukraine's president and connect with members of his government.
All right, caution ruled overnight at the final Democratic presidential debate before the Iowa caucus.
There were some clashes on stage, and Christina Laurie joins us with the entire breakdown. Christina, good morning to you.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Just 19 days to go until the first ballots of 2020 are cast. Our neighbors, one state to the west, will cast their ballots as part of the Iowa caucus, the first of the 2020 election cycle. And overnight, voters saw Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders on stage together for the first time amid their ongoing feud over whether or not a woman can be president.
I am not here to try to fight with Bernie. But look, this question about whether or not a woman can be president.
Warren and Sanders were both ready to move on from reports that Sanders told his Senate colleague a woman couldn't win the presidency.
Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million votes. How could anybody in a million years not believe that a woman could become president?
It was also the first debate since the military escalation with Iran. Foreign policy played a large role, as did healthcare. The candidate currently on top of the polls in Iowa and the country made his pitch for why he's best suited to take on President Donald Trump.
I've been the object of his affection now more than anybody else in this state. I've taken all the hits he can deliver, and I'm getting better in the poll.
Coverage right now.
The Real Clear Politics average of the 3 most recent polls has Biden and Sanders neck and neck at 21% and 20%, while Buttigieg is now in third with 19%. We'll hear from him ahead at 6:30, and Iowans will caucus in less than 3 weeks, as we mentioned, on February 3rd. Can't believe that is less than 3 weeks away.
Oh my gosh.
Time flies.
Yes, it is.
Campaign 2020. Christina Laurie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
New fundraising numbers for 2019 are in this morning. The Democratic Presidential Field and the Democratic National Committee together raked in a total of $580 million, surpassing President Trump and the Republican National Committee by more than $100 million.
More local news now.
I've had the opportunity to be a leader in a variety of places, from the county office to the city office to superintendent. These are all positions that I've had. And the joy in that is that I have been able to hone my skills to bring people together collectively.
We're hearing from the candidates for Madison's superintendent position. That right there was Dr. Marguerite Vanden Weingard, who's currently an assistant professor at St. Rose College in Albany, New York. Tonight, you'll be able to speak with Dr. Matthew Gutierrez at East High, and tomorrow, Dr. George Eric Thomas will be answering questions at La Follette High. Tonight's event starts at 6.
Middleton residents have a chance tonight to learn more about the person who could be their new top cop. The Police Commission is hosting a public forum at 6 p.m. in the City Hall Council chambers. The remaining candidates will answer questions about their experience and leadership style. One of the candidates up for the job is a current Middleton police officer. The remaining come from across the country. The person selected for the job will replace former Chief Chuck Folk, who retired last month after 40 years of service.
6:09 on your Wednesday. Still ahead on News 3 Now this morning. Packers fans might be excited about this weekend's NFC Championship game, but not as excited as local businesses. Our Keely Arthur is breaking down the impact from the big game straight ahead.
But first, Hattie's tracking a winter weather advisory this morning with the potential for some freezing rain, and some more alert days are popping up in her forecast. She'll have the latest right after this.
News
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio, where all is quiet for the time being, but not too long this morning. We are expecting some mixed precipitation to begin to spread across southern Wisconsin shortly. Here's a look at our alert day forecast today. Most of our counties are included in a winter weather advisory that's in effect until noon today. The far northeastern viewing area not included in that advisory. It'll take a little longer for the precipitation to arise, and temperatures should be rising close to the freezing point by that time. Otherwise, for the rest of the area, look for some mixed precipitation. A light glazing of ice is definitely possible across some parts of southern Wisconsin. Right now, we're seeing that mixed precipitation just south of the state line. Areas like Platteville and Monroe, though, have the highest likelihood of seeing some light drizzle or light freezing rain developing within the next hour. Here in Madison, it'll take a little longer. We should see that precipitation move in between 8 and 9 o'clock. Now, again, there is the potential for some ice accumulation right along the state line, but in all of those counties under the winter weather advisory, it is possible to receive some mixed precipitation yet this morning. So keep that in mind if you are traveling. This is not going to be a huge snow event for us. While we will see some snowflakes, it's going to add up to most likely less than an inch across southern Wisconsin. So nothing that you're going to have to clear too heavy later on today. There are alert days in the forecast, though, for the potential for some heavier snow coming Friday into Saturday. Once again, we're on that rain-snow line. There is a mix possible overnight Saturday, or I should say overnight Friday into early Saturday. Either way, this storm system is going to impact travel all around the region this weekend. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. Friday morning, again, that precipitation lifting northward across Iowa and Minnesota, spreading into Wisconsin through the afternoon on Friday. We'll likely initially see snow, but there is the potential for some mixed precipitation to develop late Friday into very early Saturday morning before it changes back to snow and winds down through the day on Saturday. Still a little early to put amounts on that storm system, but if you have travel plans, pay close attention to the forecast. Our temperatures this morning are still around 20 here in Madison, but temps in the teens pretty common to the north and west. In fact, let's take a closer look at southern Wisconsin, see where some of those coldest numbers are. Camp Douglas is at 12 this morning. It's 18 in the Dells, just 13 in Prairie du Chien. A little bit warmer here in Madison and Janesville. Your future track forecast model for the day today shows you that precipitation lifting northward. So by 8 o'clock, we start to see it move into the Madison area. Again, that pink shaded color in southern Wisconsin indicating the potential for some light freezing rain or freezing drizzle. Future track forecast model then winds the precipitation down through the afternoon from west to east. It'll be chilly today, but not terribly cold, with highs still in the 30s. Turning much colder tonight, we drop down to 8. Wind chills will likely be below 0 tomorrow. The best part about tomorrow, though, even though it's cold, is that we'll have some sunshine. That's the good news. We then turn our attention to that larger storm Friday into Saturday that will impact the area. It's time to get a look at our first alert traffic maps this morning. We'll send it over to Stacy Kay for all the details. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning. Roads are dry for now, so everyone is moving along nicely on the Beltline. No problems in either direction yet. Checking other roads here in Dane County, just some of the usual brake lights at Stoughton approaching the Beltline. No problems downtown on East Washington at this time of the morning. And other main routes heading into Madison, they're moving along. No crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Stacy Kay.
Thank you, Stacy, and thank you, Hattie. Happening today, the biggest building in the history of the Boys and Girls Club is celebrating its grand opening over in Sun Prairie. The Mackenzie Boys and Girls Club location has been in the works for a while now. It'll offer programming for nearly 200 kids here in Dane County. Sun Prairie's mayor and Dane County executive Joe Parisi will join Boys and Girls Club CEO Michael Johnson to celebrate the grand opening at the location on Windsor Street at 10 this morning.
Right now, Wisconsin farmers and businesses looking to grow their local markets can apply for $300,000 worth of grants. The Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection is accepting applications for the 2020 Buy Local, Buy Wisconsin grants now through February 28th. To apply online, you have to be involved in egg production, food processing, distribution, warehousing, or egg tourism.
6:16 now. Packers fans aren't the only ones excited about the championship game this weekend.
Local bar and restaurant owners say they're seeing a boost in business as well. Keely Arthur joins us live from Headquarters Bar and Restaurant in Oregon to explain. Keely, good morning.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. That's right. Yep, it is not just the Packers who are winning. Owners and workers of local bars and restaurants certainly are. Now, this time of year can be pretty slow for places like headquarters, and the holidays is really their last busy time until we get to the spring and summer. But having the Packers still playing now, winning the NFC North, and now competing for the NFC crown is certainly helping what would keep slower January weekends really packed.
You want to get a table in the bar area or even a stool right up at the bar and not have to be in the dining room, where we also have TVs. You can still see the game, but it's just a little bit different in there. Definitely come before the game starts. We also have a hockey tournament in town this weekend, so we might be a little crazy busy with that too. So it always helps to make reservations. We take them anytime for any number of people.
And there really is a myriad of businesses benefiting from Lucky's on Regent to Cousin Subs seeing a boost in their catering services. Everyone is excited to watch the Packers, and they are certainly willing to spend some extra cash to make it a really good time. But because of the Packers winning, of course, there's going to be a lot of game day specials coming up in the next half hour. We are going to get an inside look of headquarters and share maybe some deals that they have on Sunday. Leah and Josh?
Packers deals, maybe some green and gold food. Definitely green and gold drinks.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Keely Arthur, thank you very much.
News 3 Now is headed to San Francisco to bring you the latest from the stands and sidelines. Melissa Kim and Adam Duxter will have live team coverage starting Friday, going through the weekend.
We have an exciting update to a story we first told you about last week. This custom-made couch is headed to rapper Lil Wayne's man cave. Milwaukee's Gib Fortune made the sofa in Green Bay colors with custom stitching, LED lights, and space to hold champagne bottles, of course. He did it in hopes that Lil Wayne would see it when he brought it up to Lambeau for the playoff game against Seattle, and folks, he did. The Packer made a video about the couch, saying he can't wait to put it in his Green Bay man cave.
I'm sure that'd be fun.
Boy.
It's a big couch.
What a place to sit and watch the game. I don't know if I should go to a bar or maybe find myself a couch like that.
The couch for me.
A lot of options.
All right, well, if there's two things we're known for here in Wisconsin, it's beer and cheese, of course, and now is the time of year we celebrate it. Coming up, we're sitting down with the folks from the annual Beer and Cheese Fest to see what the celebration it has in store.
And Hattie's continuing to keep an eye on this alert day, plus when the freezing rain will start to move into your commute. That's when News 3 Now this morning returns. Stay with us.
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. We have pretty quiet conditions right now across southern Wisconsin, but things are going to get a little interesting over the next couple of hours. Winter weather advisories are in effect for most of the counties in the area. Those counties shaded in purple. Madison and Dane County, Rock County and Janesville included, as well as all areas to the west and south. We're talking some mixed precipitation moving in this morning. Already seeing some of that on the radar map just south of the state line, but right in far southern Wisconsin, south of Monroe and Platteville, you may already be seeing a little bit of freezing drizzle or a few flurries this morning. Again, this precipitation is expected to lift northward over the next couple of hours. Temperatures are definitely below freezing. We're in the teens and low 20s this morning. Here's a look at our forecast for the day today. Your bus stop weather forecast has temperatures in the 20s, climbing into the low 30s this afternoon. Again, that chance for precipitation will be continuing through the midday hours. Once we get through the mixed precipitation today, we turn much colder for tonight. Wind chills tomorrow morning are expected to be below zero.
All right, thank you very much, Hattie. So I know you can hear the sizzle. I wish you could smell it. It is almost the most wonderful time of the year. No, we're not talking about the holidays, though.
Yeah, the annual Isthmus Beer and Cheese Fest kicks off this Saturday. And here at the preview is Chelsea DeCane and Chef Dan Fox. Thanks for being here this morning.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Oh my gosh, this looks incredible. We've been smelling this for the past hour.
It's the bacon.
This
Bacon
is
in the
awesome.
morning.
Oh. Yes.
So I have never been to this. So Chelsea, tell us a little bit about the event.
So this is our 11th year that we're doing this, which is so crazy. But at Isthmus, we do a variety of events throughout the year that help us keep our paper weekly and free. And yeah, this year we're going to bring in 130 breweries from across Wisconsin, 17 cheesemakers that are all from Wisconsin. We're going to have live music. The Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra is going to be doing a quartet. So there's a lot of things happening at the fest, of course. Dan Fox will be there.
Naturally, yeah.
Cooking up some grub. Yeah, we're going to have, so in addition to like the main area of the fest where all the brewers and cheesemakers are, we have all these like activation areas on the outside that attendees can enjoy and really like get more of a taste of Madison, I think.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing event, I have to say. I mean, you have people from all over the states featuring what they do best. I mean, beer and cheese, it's Wisconsin.
Obviously.
Yeah. Our part, you know, I'm going to be there doing a beer and cheese school with the Isthmus and Metcalf Market. So I'm kind of putting together a little dish here that I will be featuring. It's bacon, Brussels sprout, mushroom, blue cheese. It's Paradise blue cheese from Hooks.
Yes.
Bacon, we actually raise these pigs and make the bacon ourselves. Fox Heritage Farms is the actual label. You can buy that at Metcalf Market.
Ooh, okay.
And we're going to be making a toast.
Yum.
So I pretty much almost have everything done here. So in the morning, I thought a fried egg would be a good way to go.
Oh, yes.
All right, so I have...
And he's got the beer pairing here. That's important.
The beer pairing. So we have blue cheese, and this is actually from one of my good friends, Peter Gentry, his One Barrel Brewing. He made a hard cider, Gentry cider rosé. So we are pairing that with blue cheese. It kind of cuts through the richness of the blue cheese. On the toast, I sautéed mushrooms, Brussels sprouts in with the bacon.
Oh my gosh.
Put the toast on there.
So the beer and cheese school too, these are all free with your tickets at the fest. The spots are just limited. So as soon as attendees get to the fest, they have to sign up for a spot. And they go on throughout the fest.
It's really an amazing festival, I have to say. It's really fun to be there with all of our peers. Everyone, it's a very friendly environment. We pretty much all know each other. The cheesemakers, along with the beer makers, along with chefs, we're all in the same room. So it's really kind of a fun level of camaraderie.
Let's throw up the graphic right now so you have an idea of when this is. And when can people, or how can people get tickets, Chelsea, real quick?
So VIP or VID, as we're calling them this year, very important drinkers, those tickets are sold out. They sold out a while back. So we still have GA tickets available. Those you can get at isthmusbeercheese.com. It's our website. And yeah, they include unlimited sampling from brewers, cheesemakers, and like I said, all these additional food pairing areas.
Okay, this looks amazing.
Look at
Again, you can get this over at Beer and Cheese Fest, sponsored by Isthmus. Chelsea and Dan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, still ahead this morning, folks. We are going to bring you all the important moments from last night's Democratic debate.
And President Trump makes a stop in Wisconsin as part of his campaign towards re-election. We'll tell you what he had to say to his supporters coming up.
The Deal. From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone, and thanks for staying with us. I'm Josh Brighter.
And I'm Leah Lynchide. We want to get straight to Hattie and her alert day forecast today. Some freezing drizzle possible.
Yes, definitely here across southern Wisconsin. We're again talking a mixture of precipitation. We have an alert day in the forecast for today with a winter weather advisory in effect for those counties shaded in purple. That's most of our viewing area. Now this morning we're already starting to see some light snow and mixed precipitation move across the border in southwestern Wisconsin. Slippery roads are possible through the morning right into the lunch hour today. Here's a look at high resolution Doppler radar. You can see that pink shaded color and purple shaded color indicating a mix just south of the state line. That precipitation will be expanding and lifting northward over the next couple of hours. Should arrive here in Madison between 8 and 9 o'clock. We're looking at temperatures right around 20 here in Madison, but colder to the north and west. As you head out the door this morning, especially later on this morning, you'll deal with a mix of precipitation. Temperatures will climb just above the freezing point later on today. Now let's get a look at those traffic reports early today. We're talking no major issues right now here in Madison. Nothing to report around southern Wisconsin. Again, keeping my eye on southwestern Wisconsin, where some of those roads may turn a little slippery in the next couple of hours. Once we get through today, we turn our attention to Friday with another storm impacting the area. Some heavy snow is possible across parts of Wisconsin heading into the weekend.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
President Trump is back home this morning after a rally in Milwaukee late last night. In his speech, the president focused on the killing of Iranian leader Qasem Soleimani and the Democratic response to it. He also touted his record in office, including appointing more federal judges and a low unemployment rate.
Protesters are also making their voices heard, gathering outside of the arena during the rally, hoping to bring their message to the president and his supporters. The group included members of nearly a dozen organizations, and protesters say showing up in Milwaukee is a must because Wisconsin is expected to be a key state in November.
All right, the last debate before the first votes of 2020 is wrapped up this morning.
We're 3 weeks out from the Iowa caucus, and Christina Lori's here to tell us why that's so important to these Democratic candidates. Christina, good morning.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Some people think it's a little antiquated that we still go by the whole caucus system, but it really is a great predictor for who goes on to win the party's nomination. The Democratic candidate who's been in the Iowa caucus for the past 4 different election cycles has gone on to win the party's nomination. So let's get you to the debate highlights. Overnight, the 6 remaining candidates took the stage for the very first time since the country's military escalation with Iran. While there were some clashes, the overwhelming storyline going into the debate that Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders would go at it over claims Sanders told Warren that in 2018 a woman couldn't win the presidency proved to be overhyped. What did get a lot of attention, though, was foreign policy.
Donald Trump is taking us pell-mell toward another war.
I'm ready to take on Donald Trump because when he gets to the tough talk and the chest thumping, he'll have to stand next to an American war veteran and explain how he pretended bone spurs made him ineligible to serve.
Buttigieg led the Iowa polls until earlier this month. The Real Clear Politics average of the 3 most recent polls now has Biden and Sanders neck and neck at 21% and 20%, while Buttigieg has dropped a third with 19%. Warren is the only other candidate polling in double digits at 16%. And again, Iowans caucus in less than 3 weeks now on February 3rd.
It'll be interesting to see if any more drop out before that, because I know we've seen a lot of developments within the last week or so.
Right. A lot. And you remember, it's the biggest Democratic field in recent history. I don't know if total
Seems
history.
Like a long time.
Yeah, there were like 18 candidates to start.
All right, Christina, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, back home in Wisconsin, it is more than just Packers fans who are excited about the long season.
Local bar and restaurant owners are seeing a big boost in their winter profits. Keely Arthur joins us live from Headquarters Bar and Restaurant in Oregon to share why. Hi, Keely.
Hi, Josh and Leah. Yeah, I made it inside headquarters. I'm sure you can tell by the smile on my face. I'm happy to be out of the cold. And managers here say with the revenue they're seeing and the amount of people that come in on those Packer game days, it really does feel more like a busy summer Saturday for bars like Headquarters. And so
winter really dies down a lot. People don't come out as much once the roads get hairy, and we have a lot going on in the summer here with our patio and volleyball, so it's crazy busy, and then winter's like, oh, all of our events are gone. But it's great when the Packers go so far, and the Badgers too, getting into the Rose Bowl. We have those extra boosts of days where people want to come out.
So some tips if you are coming to a local bar for the game day, make sure to get a reservation or just get there ahead of kickoff. And there really are a myriad of businesses that are benefiting from the Packers' long season. We spoke with Cousin Subs. They're seeing an uptick in catering. We spoke with Lucky's 1313 on Regent Street. They are also seeing more business because of this. And I know everyone is having a great time. I mentioned our photojournalist Mark Schilling every live shot I've done this week so far, and I will say he was having a great time playing some darts. He got 2 bullseyes during the commercial break, so everyone's having a great time. He's even wearing a Packers outfit right now. So I will send it back to you, Josh and Leah. Fun live shot today.
Hoping his luck extends to the Packers this weekend. Mark Schilling and Keely Arthur, thank you.
And News 3 Now is headed to San Francisco to bring you the latest from the stands and sidelines. You can watch our live team coverage all the way through the weekend.
All right, 6:36 now. If you feel a sense of dread for the coming work week on Sunday nights, you might not be alone.
We're taking a look at the Sunday scaries next on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back at 6:40. Time for My Morning, and Susan sent us this sunrise out of Jefferson.
Loving the cloud pattern in this as well as the colors.
Yeah, the colors and the cloud formation. I'm not sure what the clouds are. I'm not a meteorologist, as we were talking about earlier, but incredible shot, Susan. Thank you for sharing.
What does your morning look like? Take a picture. post it on our social media pages and use that hashtag so Josh and I can find and share our favorites every morning.
A new study shows a surprising amount of people feel Sunday night dread about going to work on Monday.
Oh yeah, new research from the Sleep Judge shows an astonishing 81% of workers dread Mondays. Symptoms include heavy anxiety, irritability, headaches, depressed mood, and restless sleep. The study shows this can all stem from a bad boss, workload, pressure to perform, and more.
So that has us asking in our Facebook poll this morning to sound off on our daily morning poll. We're asking folks, do you get the Sunday night dread about going to work?
I am going to guess that we're going to see a lot more people saying, oh yeah, than nope.
Yeah, we've had a majority, I think close to 75% of people saying that they do get the Sunday night dread compared to just the people that said they love their job completely.
We were talking earlier, we do love our jobs. We love spending time with you, Josh, and Hattie, but yeah, a little later alarm wouldn't be bad.
I was going to say the 2:30 alarm could go away, but I do love it. It's easy to come in and work with a
Very
great
true.
people like you. All right, just ahead for us, Hattie's tracking some icy conditions on this alert day. A winter weather advisory is in effect on this alert day forecast, and we're taking a look at what to expect outside.
But first, if you have a little kiddo turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning.
Look who
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. It is an alert day today for southern Wisconsin. Let's get right to the details. Winter weather advisory is in effect for all of the counties shaded in purple. That's most of our area. Mixed precipitation is already spreading into southern Wisconsin. Will lift northward and create some slippery spots on the roads. A light glazing of ice is possible through the morning hours. Here's what's happening on Doppler track this morning. You can see that precipitation just sliding right above the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. Again, it will continue to work its way to the north and east. likely see a mixture of light freezing drizzle and rain as well as some snow. Now for the rest of the day, once that precipitation moves through during the afternoon, the precipitation should wind down. Then we turn our attention towards colder conditions. Arctic high pressure off to the north and west will be moving in for Thursday. So here's our current storm system that will track across the region this morning. For tomorrow, it's going to turn much colder. Take a look at the temperatures right now across the region. 20 here in Madison. It is 9 below in Bismarck and 15 below in Glasgow this morning. So very cold air on the map, and it's moving this way. Here's a closer look at southern Wisconsin early today. We do have some spots in the teens, 16 in the Dells, 16 in Prairie du Chien, 12 in Camp Douglas this morning. To the south and east, temperatures are still in the 20s. Luckily for us, though, not much of a wind chill to factor in this morning. Wind chills tomorrow morning, though, will be a factor. Here's a look at your future track wind chills for Thursday morning at 6:30. It feels like almost 10 below in most locations. As we approach the lunch hour, we're not going to see much improvement. Wind chills still likely hovering just below 0 by the lunchtime, and then in the single digits above 0 during the afternoon. So a much colder day on the way for tomorrow. Then alert days are back in the forecast for Friday and Saturday. We're watching a storm system that will impact the area. Travel will likely be impacted both days. There is the potential for some heavy snow. Right now, it looks like the heaviest snow will be to our north and west, but keep in mind this map is likely going to change several times between now and the upcoming weekend before we get there. So keep a close eye on the forecast as we continue to update any changes. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. We have temperatures in the 20s and 30s through Saturday. After that, it turns significantly colder with high temperatures only in the teens. Those nighttime lows will be in the single digits as well. So very cold conditions heading our way. Here's a look at our Pet Walk forecast. A trio, Hudson, Izzy, and Jack in the forecast today. It'll be a little slippery if you're taking a walk today, but
love it.
Looks like Izzy isn't too unhappy about that.
No, not exactly.
Let's do it.
That's so cute.
Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us for the morning sprint up next.
The
It's 6:50, time for the morning sprint as we get you all the news you need to know as you head out the door.
That starts with breaking news overnight out of Fitchburg, where police are investigating multiple reports of shots fired. It happened just before 8:30 last night near Greenway Cross near the Popeyes there. A canine was brought to the scene, but no suspects were found. No injuries have been reported, but if you have any information, please call the Fitchburg Police Department.
This morning, an alert day is in effect for the area with winter weather advisories for southern Wisconsin. A mix of snow and freezing rain or freezing drizzle is expected to move into the area. We're already seeing that mix just south of the state line. It will continue to lift northward. Here in Madison, looking for that precipitation to start between 8 and 9 o'clock. Snow amounts are going to be rather light with this particular system. Most spots picking up less than an inch.
And we are standing up for you, the people of Wisconsin.
President Trump is back in D.C. this morning after a rally in Milwaukee last night. He talked to his supporters about the killing of Iranian leader Qasem Soleimani and the Democratic response to it. He also touted his record while in office, including appointing more federal judges and a low unemployment rate.
Protesters are also making their voices heard, gathering outside of the arena during the rally, hoping to bring their message to the president and his supporters. The group includes members of nearly a dozen organizations and even groups from the Chicago area. Protesters say showing up in Milwaukee is a must because Wisconsin is expected to be a key state in November.
The president's Wisconsin rally comes as his impeachment trial is about to move to the Senate. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will send the articles of impeachment to the Senate today. The House still needs to vote on who the impeachment managers will be to make the Democrats' case.
There are 19 days to go until our neighbors, one state to the west, cast their first ballots of the 2020 election cycle. Overnight, voters saw Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders on stage together for the first time amid their ongoing feud over whether or not a woman can be president. Both candidates were ready to move on from reports that Sanders told Warren that a woman couldn't win. It was also the first debate since the military escalation with Iran. Foreign policy played a large role, as did healthcare. Now with the Iowa caucus on February 3rd, the Real Clear Politics average of the three most recent Iowa polls has Biden and Sanders neck and neck at 21% and 20%, while Buttigieg is now in third with 19%. Josh.
Stina, thank you. Democrats are celebrating a big win in the ongoing voter purge dispute. An appeals court moved to put the order to remove those 200,000 voters on hold again. This means the voters will be able to remain on the rolls until the Court of Appeals can formally hear the case. The court also put a hold on the ruling that held the Election Commission in contempt for not removing the voter registrations.
New fundraising numbers for 2019 are in. The Democratic Presidential Field and the Democratic National Committee together raked in a total of $580 million. That surpasses President Trump and the Republican National Committee by more than $100 million.
The 2020 census is almost underway, and to make sure people participate, the Census Bureau is rolling out a $500 million marketing campaign. They'll be spending more than $1 per person living in the United States. Officials say it's necessary to make sure people know how important and easy it is to respond to the census, which only happens every 10 years.
Wisconsin Republicans are working to make sanctions and sentences tougher for criminals. Republicans have introduced a package of bills that would stop violent offenders from getting an early release from prison. The bill also calls for a mandatory sentence of 180 days for shoplifting and would expand the list of crimes that could send a child to jail.
The Department of Housing and Urban Development will follow or allow Puerto Rico to access more than $8 billion in blocked disaster aid funding, ending a months-long hold by the Trump administration. Politico reports that Puerto Rico has gotten just $1.5 billion of the $20 billion allotted for disaster relief by HUD. The U.S. territory will be able to access the funds once a Federal Register notice is published, outlining how the money can be used.
Smoke from the Australian wildfires is expected to make one full circuit around the world and return to skies over that country. NASA has been analyzing the smoke coming from the fires and saw that smoke plumes from late December traveled halfway across the world and has been impacting the air quality of other countries. This round of wildfires in Australia is the worst in decades, killing 28 people and millions of animals.
A Delta flight dumped fuel on a Los Angeles schoolyard and school building after declaring an emergency shortly after takeoff from LAX, injuring more than 40 people. The LA Fire Department says dozens of kids were treated from exposure to jet fuel at several schools. The department says none of those who were hurt were taken to the hospital. Delta says the flight to Shanghai experienced an engine issue.
Iran's president says European soldiers in the Mideast may be in danger this morning. This comes after Britain, France, and Germany challenged Tehran over breaking limits of its 2015 nuclear deal. This is the first time the country's president has threatened Europe amid tensions with the U.S. President Trump had pulled the country from that nuclear deal in 2018.
The Badgers basketball team is celebrating a big win this morning. They beat Maryland in the final seconds at the Kohl Center last night. Brad Davison hit the go-ahead three in the closing seconds. This is the Badgers' second straight win against a ranked opponent. They'll go on to 4-3 in a row Friday night at Michigan State.
Well, it's more than just the Packers who are having a winning season. Local bar and restaurant owners say they are seeing a boost in their winter profits thanks to this long season. Headquarters here in Oregon is just one of them. Now, normally this is a pretty slow time for bars, but having the Packers still playing now, winning the NFC North and now competing for the NFC crown is helping keep what would be January weekends really packed. If you do want to watch the game at a bar, managers say their only advice is to get here early and wear green and gold. Josh and Leah.
Keely, thank you. 6:56 now. Stacey K is a look at your first alert traffic. Hi, Stacey.
Hi. Roads are dry for now, but a wintry mix is expected in the next hour or so you might want to leave a little earlier for work today. The westbound Beltline is already starting to pick up, especially between Stoughton and West Broadway. Increased volume on inbound John Nolan already at the Rimrock and Nolan Avenue intersections. Just starting to get a little busier on East Washington downtown. And other main routes heading into Madison, they are moving along. No crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Stacey K.
And thank you, Stacey. Here's a live look from the Edgewater Skycam this morning. It is a pretty quiet start right now here in Madison, but keep in mind winter weather advisories are in effect for most of our viewing area, with exceptions for the far northeastern counties. Otherwise, that mix of precipitation will likely come to an end shortly after the lunch hour today. Here's a look at your day planner temperatures. Again, keep in mind driving through the morning right into the afternoon hours may be a little slippery across southern Wisconsin. High temperatures will be in the low 30s. We have more alert days in the forecast for Friday and Saturday with yet another storm system on the way.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
Stay tuned for updates to that freezing rain over the next couple of hours here on News 3 Now. Stay safe out there, folks.